Hey, Lucas the Travel over here. Thank you so much for always coming back to watch my video. Thank you so much for the returning subscriber. I don't take you people for granted. I think there was something that was being done here, and I don't know what it is, but it was made in a way that maybe there's a planting of some trees that they want to plant here, because I get to understand it was all about my uncle that was just trying to make that particular place. He was like he wanted to plant some of the trees. Yeah, you know, some of the things that actually when you try to look at the right now is that most of the things that they're happening right now. Much for always coming back to watch my video. If the first time you're coming across my YouTube channel, consider to subscribe, like the video, always turn on notification if at all you have not turned on notification. I take this opportunity. Vipi unakatia ng'ombe nyasi? Oh, unataka ng'ombe kule nyasi? Yeah. Thank you so much for the returning subscriber. I don't take you people for granted. If at all the first time you're coming across my YouTube channel, consider to subscribe, like the video, always turn on notification if at all you have not turned on notification. Again, I take this opportunity to thank each one of you who has just subscribed to Lucas the Traveler YouTube channel, to make sure at the first 3,000 subscriber, to make sure that at least you have to be among the 3,000 subscribers of Lucas the Traveler, to make sure that the family of Lucas the Traveler has to grow, because I believe in making of the friendship and interacting and making of more ideas, because when you interact with several different people and several people, actually you get that at the end of the day you come to gain more friends. That is one of the things that I love most, because you interact, you make a lot of friends, and you share different types of ideas that actually promotes you in one way or the other. That's one thing that I really appreciate. For the purpose who are new at my YouTube channel, my home is located at the border of Kenya and Tanzania. To be specifically, my home is located at in Nyabuanse. That's where actually I usually come. That's why actually I usually come from. If somebody asks where Lucas the Traveler is coming, I usually come live and clear from the village called Nyabuanse. That's where I'm coming live. You got to know that Nyabuanse, it is well known. Different people has known Nyabuanse for several times. Because maybe Nyabuanse, it has its own history. Talk about it has its own history. It is growing in its own history. It has its own things that it makes Nyabuanse to be a unique place. Talk about a very unique place that people might wonder. But that is where I'm coming live and clear. I know that it is the purpose for those who are what? Baga hivi ni wapi? Hivi ni wapi? Kwa? Nilikuja kwenu siku kupata. Oh, unaenda huko kwa Dan. Oh. Yeah, talk about actually I came that's one of my friends that actually we came to interact with him when he was we were in college. We went through the same college and we came to finish the same time. So we have just met with him. You know, back here in the village here, we can say the village setups, there's no work. We talk about there's not a lot of work. That's why sometimes you get to find that after graduation, don't think of what you did. Just come upon, humble yourself and work out from that simple background. That's why you get most of the people that are graduates, yes, but when it comes to the real life situation, you are doing like top handman, to make sure that at the end of the day, what matters is what do you bring on the table. That's what matters a lot. If you just come from the school, then you say, oh, I'm a graduate, I'm not supposed to do this type of work. This type of work is just meant specifically for these people, and this type of work is meant specifically for these people. At the end of the day, you get that you'll be the one losing and not gaining, because people don't worry of what you're doing. People worry of what, at the end of the day, what will you bring on the table. That's what matters a lot. Now guys, back to the main topic of today. Today on our table today, we are going to have two parties on our table today that we are going to bring on the board. the first table that you are going to bring, the first place that you are going to do, we are going to bring on our table, we should be having Bushman dude on our table today. And the second person that we are going to have on our table today, talk about, we are going to have Ayamaro on our table today. That are the main characters of our table today that we are going to be having on our discussion today. And one thing that guys will love or more about the village is that we have to bring the clear picture of how things are happening. But funny enough is that when you bring this clear picture on how the things are really happening on the ground, some of the people think that you are biased to these people, but the truth has to remain to be the truth. And let's talk about the truth should remain to be the truth. Let the spade be called a spade, and let the spoon be called the spoon. One thing, I really congratulate Bushman for standing for the truth. If you watch the Bushman video very well, he said no more selling of the land at this particular place. We get to understand that those people, okay, we get to understand that they used the villagers before they came here, and the ventures, one thing that they came to realize, talk about Ayamaro, the first thing that he came to realize that this village, there is what we talk about lack of money. Talk about there's a lack of money somehow. So after they came and realized that point, they come now to the point of talk about they want now to go inside and deeply want now to let's talk about they want to now them so that they can get some land. They get some land at a very cheap price. Talk about you get one of the things that you're going to get. Most of the people talk about ancestral land. This is one thing that one thing in common that and this is one thing that even from the biblical history. From the biblical history, it is not it is not allowed that you sell your ancestral land. This is one of the biggest mistakes that it is ever happening in this world situation. But right now, they use the entire of this Bushman dude. Talk about Bushman dude. Before Bushman dude came upon to join this platform of YouTube, he also gave out the more land. Then actually he talk about this, they were family, because me, I was specifically born at this particular village, so I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. The two family, talk about Mama Ann's family, talk about a Bushman dude family. They are more or less related, and there's a one other at Noel's father family. They are all more or related. They were family that they had very big land. Talk about when you want to talk about the biggest land ever, you could talk about this family. They are the one that actually they own most of the biggest. Talk about the biggest land ever around here. They are the one that came upon to be owing this the biggest. Talk about the biggest land ever here. But it reached a time when they started now selling. They started now selling the land over. I think there's a lot of sun. I think I should find a way to stand so that you know, sometimes we don't use the GoPro, we use the phones, and our phones they're not such very you understand. So they'll talk about, there are these people that we talk about when you could talk about the villages that they had a lot of land, you could talk about Mama Ann's family, you could talk about Bushman dude family, you could talk about Church's family. Those are the people that they own a lot and the biggest land ever around here. But it reached a time. Yeah, actually, okay, actually, I was trying to look where there's some, at least a bit of talk about. There's not a lot of sunlight, because you get to understand that right now there's the rain wants to rain, and when the rain wants to rain, before now the cloud shows, you get to understand that there's a lot of sun. So I was trying to find a place where there's not a lot of sun, so that we continue on our topic today. We were discussing about the land. So this family, after now they came to the village, they want to own the entire of the land. You understand? They want to own the entire of the land. Talk about Murimi. Murimi was one of the person that actually he demanded the land from the father even before the family, in our village here, when it reached a time when the land wants to be distributed among the boys, talk about the boys, because here only boys are the one who own the land, and then the girls, they are not distributed. Then he was the first one being given the land. Later on, the first land he sold, it was all about he sold to the same Congress dad, that he sold the land to Congress dad, the first land that D came and started constructing upon that land. Then after that, they realized that this man actually is alcoholism. Talk about alcoholism. He likes a lot of alcohol. Then they took advantage of this guy, and then he told him to squeeze the land a bit. Then he squeezed for them a bit of the land. Then after that, he told again. After that, he convinced him. Then he squealed a land. That's how many times? 3 times. And the funny thing is that they don't give him a way forward and the importance on how to use this upon the money. And at the end of the day, you get that he has not solved his problem, or he has not come to the point of having the problem. So they came to use the family. And when we stand with the truth to make sure that actually at the end of the day, we'll get ourselves being squatters of where we were born, being squatters on where we were born. And that one is not a good thing to happen, because I can recall for you to trespass, there's a time actually talk about Congress dad had planted some sugarcane. Then that time we used to pass over by the sugarcane at the point down there. Then but if coincidence you could meet with the Congress dad when you are passing over there, it could be a very biggest mistake. He could beat you thoroughly. Talk about this person that you call Uncle Mo. When he comes and find you passing nearby the sugarcane, he could automatically say that you have gone to steal the sugarcane, and you could find the consequences. And if at all you could be found trespassing in between, even if you check out the clearly of the picture, in our village, most of the people, they are not even fencing the land. Despite we used to pass anywhere, because we believe the road, if you leave just a bit of the road and people pass, that's the best thing, because you're going to get that today maybe you have somebody want to rush in somewhere, then you have to leave that road. And if you have a problem and you fence the road, at the end of the day, you get that you are the one losing and you will not be the one gaining. That's what is really happening, and what is really popping in. And at the end of the day, you get that you are the one losing. But talk about when now these people came, they started fencing the entire of the land. They don't want any person to trespass inside. That's why you saw the other day there was a wrangle of the road, but people don't understand those people that they are not living within. They don't understand. They just take that, oh, they're envy, they don't want this material to be passed from this place to the other place, what sort of the issues. But the reality of the things, they don't know what's the really happening, what's the really popping out, what's the really popping in. Because you got to understand, if today Lucas the Traveler has done wrong to you, most of the people don't forget. They just wait for you. One day you'll just go to them, and then on your realization that they will just pay bad with bad. Most of the people pay bad and bad, because you have to understand we are all human beings, and that's what it is really happening, and that's what is really popping in, and that's what it is really happening. So after Bushman Dude realized that at the end of the day, we are the one losing. He came upon controlling his young brother, Monanka. He came upon controlling his young Monanka that you should not sell beyond what you have sold. Because get to understand that he has sold a lot of land. Talk about he sold to Mayugno. Talk about he sold the other land to the Jamaican mom. Talk about he came upon. And he's the age like me. He's totally, we are the same age. We are the same age. And the funny enough, after selling this land to these people, talk about the YouTubers, at the end of the day, you get them with these YouTubers at the club. So that simply means that these YouTubers, they go beyond to use this money that they have given to Monanka. And he's a very young boy, even without, he has not even married. He's my age mate. So if I talk, we went with him the same primary school. We schooled with him the same primary school. We schooled to, but luck privilegely enough, I went to another high school, and he went to another high school, but I finished, somehow I was faster in academics, and I left him when he was class 8 there. So I get promoted and he repeated there. So he went very fast, and then I finished. But when he finished Form 4, but it's my same age, talk about age group, talk about age set, we had the moral the same. So we school together. Talk about Vapor. These are the people that even they came to my to the school when I was the school head boy. Talk about the school president. I was the school president at Resbania. When they came, I was the one who was nurturing them. I was young but intelligent somehow. That's why most of the times when I look at these things, they are not happening the way they are. We have to bring them on the board, and we are trying to discuss accordingly how they are supposed to be. So that is what is really happening now. He came to a point of refusing, no more selling of the land, because this land, our father never sold it. This land, our ancestors never sold it. We inherited the land, and because we came upon of inherited the land, and at the end of the day, we'll get that we have the kids, and the kids will need to inherit the same land. That's really what is popping in, and that is really what is happening. Thank you so much for the YouTubers, for the villagers that who has now really come across his senses. They come to across their sense to realize that what is really popping in, what is really coming out, and what is really happening, it is not what is supposed to be happening. And they have come to say no to selling of the land, of which this is a inheritance of the land, and we should protect it until the end of the day. Not that we should sell it to another person. It is not supposed to be like that. So guys, thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos. If at all the first time you're coming across my YouTube channel, consider to subscribe, like the video, always turn on notification if you have not turned on notification. Remember, this one is Lucas the Traveler, coming live and clear from this particular point here. I believe he'll be the I believe make sure we make a little bit of steps. Me, I believe in a daily single step, and everything is going to happen with its own time. Thank you. Let's meet to the next video.